Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to build a Python app to chat with exactly two PDF files and compare them. There's a fair amount of these kind of apps and tutorials around, so I thought I'd add that extension and specifically let the user chat with two documents, or just one if they want. It's up to them, and in this case I am still using Streamlit, Python, AWS Bedrock for the model, and LangChain. Now for the app itself, let's actually just run through a quick demo. So I do have my resume here. So right there, that's actually a resume that I downloaded from LinkedIn. And here's my actual resume. So when I hit the confirm upload button, it's going to store them as vector databases locally. Now let's just ask the question. Let's say, who is this person's name? Let's just chat with the second document, which is my actual resume. And there you go, there's my name, and it goes into a whole other monologue, which I did instruct it to do, so. But yeah, there's a flat answer right at the end. For the second question, let's say, are these documents, or do these documents belong to the same person? Now let's chat with both. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why everything just blanked there, but it appears they belong to the same person. Okay, so we got it right. Alright, so it's talking about document 1 has my work experience. This one has more projects. Okay. Document 1. Okay, I guess I'm going to relocate. Okay. And that's it. So that's the app. It's fairly straightforward. And yeah, let's get into the code. Let me just swap the screen. Okay, before we get to the code, let me just say, if you're new to this channel, my name is Ravi. I am a freelance ML engineer. I've been in the data and AI field for about 5 years after I studied physics, and yeah, I'm just getting started on YouTube, so definitely sub for more tutorials like this. Yeah, let's get started on the app. Let me also just say, I do have a blog post to go along with this, so I will link that and the Git repo below. So yeah, but the actual file is just one.py file, so pretty straightforward. Before we get started, make sure you have LangChain installed. Install PyPDF for PDF reader. Streamlit and Boda 3, of course, since you're using AWS. You also need to install Phi's CPU. I think it'll be like this. Okay. Yeah, so run that in the command line, and that should work. I'm not sure if LangChain will just download that for you, but yeah, you might just run that, and I think you should be good to go after that. Aside from setting up AWS, you'll need your secret keys. I showed that in a previous video, full stack data science with AWS, I think, so check that out if you need to. But yeah, otherwise, instantiate your Bedrock. And yeah, we can get into the functions to run the code. So the first step, of course, the user is going to upload a PDF file, and we need to ingest the data. So what this function is doing right here, I'm going to read that PDF file with the PDF reader, and then I'm going to iterate through the pages and just put them in one string. When I demoed it, I just had one-page resume, but yeah, it's totally fine to have multiple pages. We'll handle that. And then I am going to sort of apply reg here, so we're going to split the text into chunks. If you're not familiar with chunk overlap, so we split the chunks into whatever size you decide, and then The problem is when you do this, you might split, or you might get a text chunk and it's cut off out like the middle of a sentence and it's kind of awkward, and maybe the context gets messed up like that. It's more so important for the next chunk of text. So it's like missing the first half of an important sentence. And so the chunk overlap is actually going to go back and get like the past part of that sentence to prevent something like that. So that's what the overlap's for. So probably wouldn't set that to 0, but you can play with that if you want. And yeah, then we split it, and let me just say document, this is just specific to LangChain. It's meant to store text data with like metadata. In this case, we don't have that, so we have the one argument, which is just the text. But we do want to stay consistent with LangChain, so store that as a list of documents, and that's it. That's our data. So this one I'm just going to gloss over. This is just storing the actual data into a vector database. Alright, so we're going to use that phase function from LangChain. And so this I want to go over, so get the model, and yeah, so I'll just show you how to actually get that model ID. So let's go back to the browser. I already have AWS. That's what you do here, just click on Bedrock. So if you're new, let me actually show you how to get model access to these, or to all the models, I guess. So yeah, you go down here, click on model access, then you'll click on modify model access and request the models. And here are all the models you can request. So these are black grayed out, and these are unavailable because they're old, so we're just using these, and so this is the one that I used. But when you do this, I forget what color these will be, but you can actually just request these and you'll get granted like immediately. So, and don't worry about these, just go in here. Yeah, I think you'll just like check mark them, and there you go, you'll get them. Yeah, so that's the model access. To get the model ID, just click on providers, go to whichever provider you want, and it brings me down here immediately, but so this is it, meta. Scroll down, pick your model. I pick this one, and here's your model ID right here. Now, you can also see other parameters. So I do have this in my code, but I kept the default value anyways. I think the more important thing here is the temperature, so you can play with that one if you want. But yeah, otherwise this is what you want. You can just click on that to copy it. Okay, so that's it. Now let's go back to the code. So yeah, the prompt. So in the prompt, I did find something kind of annoying where if I only wanted to talk to one document, it might still say that leave a note saying, oh, the other one's missing. I didn't really like that. I feel like that's kind of obvious. So here's what I did for the prompt. Okay, so I said you're given either 1 or 2. Answer the information from one or both documents based on the question that from the user. And then more specifically, if you only have one, just only answer given that. But if you have 2, then I actually instructed it to compare and contrast them. So not just answer. And then at least 250 words. And just a nice to have to prevent hallucinations, I guess. And that's it. So we're just going to format it and just input the context here in a function later. So yeah, that's it. The next thing is let's get the actual response from the LLM. So in this function, I am just going to so in the app, you saw that I have 3 buttons. So I'm just like sort of putting if statements to handle those buttons. So yeah, basically we're just going to load in the vector databases and actually do that similarity search. So I'm going to get the top 3, but yeah, so we're going to get the top 3 of the chunks based off of the query here. Then we're just going to put them into our context. We'll separate it by a line, but yeah, so that's our top 3 similarity searches in one string. Okay, and then basically what I'm doing in this function is preventing to do that, or I don't want to do that with both of the databases if the user doesn't care about the other document, right? So I'm handling that here. I think there's a better way to do this actually, but if you want multiple, but in this case I am being very explicit. And other context I'm just going to leave blank. Right, so context 2 is blank here, context 1 is blank here, and that's it. So then we're going to put those in, get the response from the LLM here, and return it. So that's what that does. I do have another function. This is more so just to handle the errors. So if they don't actually have the documents, or they didn't upload it, then I'm going to give a specific message there. Or otherwise, just handle the error as normal. And I think here I'm just loading the LLM. I put the spinner here, so this is going to go straight into Streamlit. I guess all the functions are, but yeah, I pretty much pulled all this code out of Streamlit because I had repetitive error handling. So yeah, just do that, or just modify this as you need it. Maybe if you want to have multiple documents, you might change this and make it a bit better, but yeah, otherwise all I'm doing here is just loading it in and then calling this function to get the response. And that's it. And then going to return this response. Or just nothing. Okay, and that is it. Now we can get into the Streamlit app, which, as you already saw, is super straightforward. It's just the user input, PDF files. You can actually in Streamlit, you can let the file uploader can actually accept multiple files if you instruct it to. Again, because I'm being specific about 2 files, I kept them separate and have 2 of these functions here. But yeah, so change that if you want. And then that's it. So confirm the upload, and then we're going to run those data ingestion functions and get the PDFs into vector stores or into vector databases locally. And then for the buttons, I just put them in columns, make sure they're horizontal. And then I don't want the response to be in like one of those columns, right? So put that outside. And I believe that's it for the app. So yeah, the main thing here I think is chatting with documents, but adding that extra functionality to be more specific. Of course, you can prompt and change it as you like. Clean the code up if you think mine sucks. Another thing is there's nothing special about using AWS. In most cases, you're going to use cloud tool models probably, these days at least. But yeah, so if you want to use Azure or GCP, you can easily swap that out. But that's it, and hopefully you found this useful. I'll leave the links to the blog in the GitHub repo below in the description. And thanks for watching.